I see it with a clear eye.
So I hustle.
Mama's house to Penthouse, yeah.
And we are live at 5
or 3. Or 2.
Oh no, it's what's 2 or 3.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. What they say?
That's true.
Yeah. I'm trying to break my grill in. It's when they first come in, man, they
kind of tight.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
Nah, either it's too tight or it's too loose, and you got to do a little plier work.
Yeah. Last thing you want is to be talking in front of someone and your whole mouth fall out.
Oh my God!
You trying to be fly? Yeah, what just fall out like that's the last thing you want. I seen it happen. Worst thing ever. Dude.
We just promoting right now. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's all it is. But we got a great show today. I think it's a lot of great insights that we've been coming up with just this week. Mm-hmm. I really like this format because y'all don't understand. We're pushing these episodes out the quickest we ever pushed them out. So just that alone excites me. Man. We're going to be able to get y'all so much more content.
Y'all can't see neither. We got a lot of angles, too. It's like boom, 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 boom,
Yeah. Well, they can't see me on your angle, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot, too. We got water. We got, the trusty steed right here. I'm trying to log into the CRM, but just cuz. You know what I mean?
Just to watch the business. I think you're going to like our topic today.
I don't know what's going on,
I think you're going to like our topic a lot today.
Where did it come from? Did somebody ask?
Yeah, somebody asked a question, but this is along the lines of some of the stuff we've been talking about. So I think that the audience is going to get a lot of insight and perspective about building an empire, building an enterprise. I said that a long time ago on the episode. I'm building an enterprise. So I think it's going to be some good stuff. You ready to get into it?
I'm ready to get into it.
All right, let's get into Mama's House Mail. I always feel bad when I have to read it. All right.
Standard.
So this is Vanessa from Chicago. Hey guys, long-time listener. I've built a solid 6-figure digital product business as a solopreneur, but I've hit a ceiling. I'm doing the sales, the content, the customer service, and the tech. I feel like I'm stuck in a gold-plated mama's house. I've got the money, but I have zero time, and I'm burning out fast. You guys always talk about that penthouse freedom. How do I transition from being the everything officer to an actual CEO without the whole house of cards falling down?
I thought of one tool we've been on heavy, but it ain't got nothing to do with a tool. Tools come and go. They're going to have a cool tool. They're going to have another one. But overarching, these tools are doing specific things that you need.
They're shorthand for a certain philosophy or a way of thinking.
A fundamental principle.
Of what you want to do. And I think that we got some good insights for you today, Vanessa, because this is the type of stuff that we talk about in our own businesses as far as the things that we need to do in order to step into that true, what we call cosmopolitans. It is another world, somebody who's managing multiple things and being able to command things without always having to be there and work through things. And I think it's a bunch of insights. So you ready to pop this off?
Yeah. Thinking, opening up the CRM, I done seen a little fire, but we're going to have somebody deal with that. We're going to talk about that on here today.
Prime example.
Yeah.
Prime example.
Yep.
I think the first thing I would say when it comes down to this is I want you, before you even get into thinking about like what tools you should use, anything like that, I want you to walk with me way back to when we first started doing business. Now, I know this is probably true of you too, DJ, that you came from a community where you were praised for doing the work.
Yep.
Like if you worked 15, 16, 17, 18-hour days, everybody would pat you on the back and be like, bro, you did it, bro. You really good at doing work. You a real hard worker. You gonna get ahead. But I think that what happens when you become an entrepreneur, you get so caught up on it being easier for you to do the work, or you get caught up on the love of the praise for doing the work, that if you can't overcome this mindset, getting burnt out is just a natural conclusion because you're never gonna let go of the work to even get to the point where you could use better tools and things to manage your business. So I like to start there as far as the things that you need to work on in order to overcome this mindset that's gonna stop you from outsourcing that work.
Did you D&D? Did you D&D?
I can still D&D on the phone right now.
Is it too late?
I don't think so.
What's our guest name that had a question?
Vanessa.
Vanessa, hold on.
I'm about to hit this D&D right here. on D&D. How do I know it? You can hit the D&D on the side on the newer phones on the bottom. Probably. It's like a little button right there. You see it? It's that little button. Hold it. You seen that? Yeah, it went D&D. You seen it go red? Yeah.
I don't know.
You're going to lose the whole angle. Yeah,
I hope not. Okay. Yeah. Picking back up where you left off, you were saying...
like, what have you learned from that mindset of how do you get out that... Like, we're starting with the mindset because I want to build on top of, like, what I think the symptoms a lot of times in is. Coming from that work hard, hustle 18 hours. And just to be straightforward with you, I'm no stranger to working hard, 18 hours, stuff like that. But there's a certain way you have to work. So what have you done in the beginning to help you get out of that mindset? Because I think it'd be very helpful for Vanessa to hear your side.
Yes, the mindset is the most important part of this. And like if you can't really like the main part of it is like wrapping around like the fact that you really can't do everything that you have to do. Mm-hmm. There are certain departments, and let me take this out. Let's get real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It ain't loose though. That one thing we can say.
Nah, you gotta break those in. You know what I'm saying? Give me some more water, Vanessa.
Yeah. Light as me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I ain't even know.
Right there for you.
Production team, yeah.
the main thing, like we were saying, is just the mindset, because like getting first understanding, like, because I've had the luxury of seeing it from multiple angles. Like I come into it not even expecting myself to be able to do most of the things that need to be done. You know what I'm saying? It's a luxury. I also have the luxury of seeing a person like Prinston and other people in the world, or just like I work with Prinston closely. So just the mindset of like, he has a lot of skills. So a lot of times we want to use the skills we have. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck did I gain this skill
It's the path of least resistance.
Right. Like, why did I learn how to do all this if I'm not going to use it mindset, right? It's like, no. You still can use it. And let me show you, we're going to go into depth about how and stuff like that. But mentally, just trying to detach and dewire, like, the main mind frame of, like, how you can get to 6 figures, a certain level, or a certain amount of money a month or a year or whatever it is, without having people. It's like you got to be a true hustler to get to a certain level without having like.
Well, just like in her example though, like I think you're going to get to those levels, but you're going to be burnt out. Yeah. Working 23 hours a day and you make $100,000 is not that enjoyable, because you're not going to be able to do anything with the money. Your days are literally just to work. And I think a big part of this, why I wanted to start with the mindset, is because I think psychologically there's a couple things going on. As somebody, like you said, who has the skills, I can just build the website. I could just make the graphics. I could just get on the sales call. I could just do it. And all these things sound good when you're starting off. It's like Kanye used to say, do the rap in the track, triple double, no assist. I mean, it sounds good when you're doing it, but in all honesty, it only gets you to a point. And what I've learned about business is business requires shifting paradigms to get to different levels. So,
I even heard Kanye recently say, man, put that in some AI. Like,
because you start off with one paradigm that's going to get you to a certain point. So a lot of times when you're starting off as an entrepreneur, you need that paradigm of hustle hard, do 15, 16-hour days, especially if you're somebody who's never worked like that. I think, honestly, people coming from a 9-to-5 have a little bit of a leg up because they're used to getting up and working every day.
Absolutely.
I always tell people I used to have to put the sign-in sheet on the wall and sign that every day just to get into that mindset of you wake up, you work from this time to this time. Right. So the work part of it was important at a certain paradigm just to get the wheels rolling. Yeah. But when you get to a point where you're starting to make a lot more money, then what happens is you have to shift to a new paradigm, a new way of thinking to get to a new level. That's where people struggle.
Here's the reality. You're still going to work.
Of course.
The hardest part is to separate from the work that you used to do and to what you're about to be doing. Because what we're doing right now. Like we're filming, we're doing different levels of work because certain other things are happening.
Yeah.
That's the goal. You know, getting to the point to where you're able to do other things and you have systems in place. So that's the way that you do it. Of course, systems. And without saying a super broad ass word, without giving you like some some practical direction, like right now, the one of the tools that I'm using right now that really does help, and this is no free promo and everything, but it really does help document the processes that I'm doing, because I'm very adamant about like removing myself from certain things that I don't need to be doing at this current moment. Mm-hmm. And at some point in your business, like if you writing us, Vanessa, if you writing us at this point, like it's burning, right? Like you're ready to solve this. So next time you're doing things, I use a tool called Scribe. When you're working, it's documenting your workflow. Click by click is naming the task for you and everything. So you can give this to a person or even make a video, a YouTube video following the steps. Mm-hmm. It just makes everything way simpler.
Scribe is a great platform. Basically, it can do so much as far as creating SOPs for people. So it's like if you go to, say you do something on the computer over and over, it'll literally record what you're doing and turn it into like step 1, step 2, step 3.
We're going to reach out to Scribe. They need to go ahead and
sponsor. And I think the big thing with even getting to that point is just understanding that, like, the first part is accepting the fact that you're going to have to shift into paradigms like this and thinking about how do I get somebody to do the work instead of doing the work. Mm-hmm. The other aspect that I find a lot of times is people want to feel needed. I think it's very difficult for you to be a business owner and you're doing certain things in your business and all of a sudden people are not calling you or people are not praising you directly anymore. Because a lot of times if you're coming from working at a job, I know it may be crazy to some people, but a lot of people live on praise. Some people at jobs, if you just give them praise, that's what Employee of the Month and all that stuff is for. Mm-hmm. They will feel satisfied with that because they're feeling like they're being useful to a community. And as an entrepreneur, the goal is not to necessarily make you feel better about yourself, even though, you know, if your business is doing well, you're going to feel better about yourself because you're accomplishing your goals and your dreams. The point is to figure out how you can service the most people. I've talked about this a lot of times where I think that just because you can do one website well, just because you can do one roof well, just because you can deliver one shirt well, doesn't mean you're like the greatest entrepreneur and you have given value to that one person. But the entrepreneur who really steps back and says, well, the most unselfish thing I think you can do is to put systems in place and then you can service a lot more people. And I think ultimately that is the hardest thing to get out of because people want to be needed. I'll tell you another aspect to it is people feel like nobody can do the job as good as me. And this is just one of those things our egos get in the way and think that, oh yeah, well, you know, I'm doing the websites like this. I'm speaking what it was like for me in the business, right? I'm not the greatest web developer in the world. But what I'm saying is you can get this egotistical thought process like, they just not gonna be able to do the websites.
It's easy. It's not unnatural. So for Vanessa, if you going through that too as well, all of us do it. Mm-hmm. When you, my unique situation was certain things I just already knew. Chad, you already know. You know, like Vanessa, you know certain things. Like I'm calling. Like some people know you got certain people on the team, you just probably not thinking of it like that. Like you probably have a partner that handles, y'all have another entity, but they handle the marketing, you know, but you're not thinking of it like you have a marketing agency with you. You know what I'm saying? You got to really think about the things that you have around you. Probably, and if you don't have nobody and you willing and kneeling it the whole way through, that is still a superpower, and it's a very unique superpower. Yeah.
Well, each thing gives you an advantage. Yep. So to the person who's the technician of the business, if you read books like E-Myth Revisit, they talk about this. If you're a technician is the person who knows how to do everything, right? Yeah. So if you're doing a coding business, you actually know how to program. You're like a software engineer. You're a technician. You can get in there, you can get behind there, and you can actually do the code yourself.
Right.
The beauty of that is when you are training people, you know that language. You have an understanding of how to pass that task off. The problem is just getting into the point of documentation. My brother, he has a vegan truck, Lindiana's, right? And I always tell him that I don't think the goal is to try to get them to produce the food as good as you. I think it's to put a system in place that is like 90% of what you can do.
Yep.
They'll never be able to do what you do because a lot of times that's talent. Now, small disclaimer, some stuff I do believe people can do better than me in my own business.
Right.
People can design websites better than me in my own business. So to me, even removing myself is doing a better service to the people coming into the business.
Especially when prompting correctly. So I argue that at first it would start off immediately with a decent SOP given to a cook. Decent SOP. He might miss very careful things that T would do. You know, that he would just the very careful stuff that make it just slap. You know what I'm saying? But eventually we'll document those very careful things that make it slap.
But what's the thing you saying right there? And this is a huge thing.
Yep.
You have to be more committed to making the process than doing
the food, or doing the website, or doing the MC show, or doing the actual grill, or doing the actual setting of the diamonds. I'm more out when building the jewelry, Cowboy VVS, for years, we were looking at the pipeline.
Yeah.
Me and Yash, step by step by step, till date. Me and the main project manager at the factory we spend a certain amount of time just like talking on the phone, just like shit. We just on the phone, and like we just talking about the pipeline, like we just on the phone, like just like what you think, and we can add this, or like man nah, but the process is what continues and just gets better. It gets better. It just gets better, and before you know it, you got something that has superseded what you could have did. You wasn't finna do all of this.
Yeah.
You wasn't about to do all of this cause you are coming back to the process and like, man, what about doing everything that we just did and adding some of that wakaya on there, you know? And now it's like, shit.
I could go real deep on this topic of about the 20 forms of resistance.
Yeah. And
the forms of resistance are what stops most entrepreneurs. So this is things you can think about like, I need to research more. I need to learn more. I don't have the skills. I don't like all these things are things that people use to procrastinate. But one of them is perfectionism. Like I've always heard people say I'm a perfectionist. I don't believe in perfectionism. I believe in working to build a better product, but I believe that whatever product you put out today, if you're a good business, that product is going to be 20,000 times better in 2 years because you're constantly improving it, making it better, bringing in better team members. I think that something we've been talking about lately is motion beats perfection.
Yep.
If you're in motion already, what happens is you're going to make small improvements. We was talking about something the other day as far as the fulfillment on our services. So we added the revenue flywheel. So basically, when people sign up, now they have these calls that they can go to every month that helps them with different aspects of their business. These are free to people who sign up for our services, but it makes people stay on the software longer because they have assistance. Now that's something that we was talking about in your call. The calls will get better over time. So whatever the first call is, it's not going to be good as 2 years from now we're doing those calls, or we got teams of people in there doing that call. We might start bringing people in, specialists to come in specifically to talk about something. The calls will get better. But as an entrepreneur, you have to accept that there is going to be a dip in quality in the short term, because what's going to eventually happen is you're going to be better in the long term, and you're going to be able to service more people. And I think that's ultimately this idea of that nobody can do it better than me, or wanting to be needed, are some of the two kind of shadow things going on in the back of people's minds that they don't want to admit why they can't pass the task off. You'd be surprised how many people I've consulted with, talked with on the phone, and the biggest thing they say is, I can't find good people. I can't find good people. Nah. You have to learn how to prompt the good people.
That's it. And working with a lot of people, generally the same people who can't find a good person are the people who are closed-minded to AI. We just did a whole episode about AI. A good person right now is AI. It could assist you with certain things, but finding a good person is exactly like what you just said. But why we did a whole episode about AI, because at the very least right now, if you was to go to ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, it don't matter any of these little bots, any of these little places where you can prompt,
especially for the basics,
right? Any of these little places where you can prompt. If you've been working, so we remember the first day that shit dropped, right? Because we was we was already semi on Right Sonic and just trying to figure out all types of stuff. Yeah. When it dropped, we was on it. So think about us now. We've been on it since then. We've been on its head since then. Every day I got a GPT window open right now. It's on my phone. It's on. I'll get in there, and eventually, what happens is you start. Like I remember when I first got on it, you start to realize, like, man, this shit don't work. But the system got better, and then eventually you start to push it more. You start to just like try again, say it another way, and then what you learn is prompt. You start to prompt. You start to get better with how you write tasks. You start to even think about everything before you even get in the GPT window, because you start to realize, like, that's why I don't even do no more typing to Windows no more. Like I like to get in my VR system, or I like to do an open chat window so I can just spill the beans. So that way it can just, there's no gap. You know what I'm saying? It just has all of the information. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that there's a couple of things that you just really dropped some game right there as far as how you can use AI to even help with this problem. I think the biggest thing to break down is, do you know what you do? So I'm asking that question. Anybody listening to this, do you know what you do in your business? And I'm not saying this in a sense of like, I'm selling clothes, or I'm doing websites, or I'm doing roofs. I know what that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that when I wake up in the morning on, say, a Monday, I know two things are going to happen. We're going to have our strategy call for Monday, right? And then our strategy calls, they've shifted vastly from what they were at first, right? It was like a task thing. Now this is like the executive board. This is the goals and objectives for the week. Then those executive team members have to go pass this stuff out. But I'm saying, I know in that process, and just catch what I'm about to say, somebody has to make that document that gets sent out to everybody. That's a very simple thing. Those are the things I think people miss documenting, right? In my task when I was doing the web development, in the beginning, I found it very difficult to pass off web development because I didn't understand it was a two-step process, because I would design the sites and build the sites. So once I realized that, it's actually two different functions, right? There's a designer and there's a developer, then I'm better able to pass that off. But I think the hack that you just gave was you could write down your entire business, like just write down your day-to-day tasks. This is what I do. I wake up and do this. I get on phones. I talk to this person. I do this. Then I go do some coding. Then I go do this. I go do this. What's going to happen is you put that into any of the basic chat bots, right? ChatGPT, Claude, or whatever. It's going to tell you exactly what you're doing, task that you're doing. So now you can start the breakdown.
And even categorize those tasks for you, because a lot of people can't think that far neither. Mm-hmm. You are doing everything, so I know you ain't looked at no organizational chart, so you can't zoom out and like really see what you're doing.
I'm being the editor.
Yeah, I'm being the editor in the marketing department. I just went and did a flyer. I just did the graphic work, okay? I just walked my happy ass on over here and did like a HR contract, because I'm about to, or I did a sales contract. These are all tasks. But you don't realize what you're doing, and then you sat down and chilled for a second and thought about the next marketing campaign. That's a task. Mm-hmm. That is a manager task. The ChatGPT will, like you said, if you're really serious about really solving it, you tell it what you did today, and it's going to categorize those tasks, let you know, hey. And then what you'll realize is you're doing repetitive work. Yeah. You're patting yourself on the back for the 80% of work that has to be done in the business. And what you'll realize is that this work is the easiest work to pass off. Yeah. If outside of the thinking work, the
I think that you have to uncouple, right? Yeah. So we talked about the mindset first, but the next thing is you got to uncouple all those tasks. Yeah. Awareness is the first with anything. The first thing you have to have with anything, right? So if we can't uncouple those tasks, that's when it becomes difficult, because all that shit is flowing together. Right. You just gave a great example. You're in HR, and then you're doing a flyer, and then you're doing a flyer for HR. Then you over here editing the video, and then you on the sales calls. Like, in your mind, it may sound crazy, but you think of this as all like one thing that one person does in a business.
Yeah.
When like in a business, that's like 40 different things you do.
Yeah.
So
You just
if you uncouple them and do things like, here's an organizational chart. What does this person do? Oh, my marketing director, he's not even the person who does the flyers. There's a graphic designer in the marketing department does it. Doesn't mean that at this point that you're not doing the work, but at least you understand
What you're
I'm the
doing.
graphic designer right now.
Right.
So
A
now
lot
when
of
it's time
people-
to outsource that, you understand what to do.
a lot of people get in the car and make appointment setting calls.
Yeah.
A lot of people do and just don't realize what they're doing. It's like you're being the appointment setter. This probably should happen all the time. You realize you get in the car all the time at the same time. You probably should just put a person in, you know what I'm saying? Or when you go running, you could probably be calling people like, just just like P said, at some point, you got to just really lock in and be like, man, this is what I'm doing every day.
Couple that shit.
Like, this is what I'm doing every day. And getting, like, focusing on different ways to get that paid for, because that will open your mind to, like, I got to have a subscription-based product. I got to have a high-ticket product.
This is when we get into what is a real business model.
Yeah.
When I first got into business, I didn't understand. Like, I understood the idea. The business model is how you make money. But when I was introduced to something like the business model canvas, you can look this up. This is what they use in Silicon Valley. We use it in the UBB.
Yeah.
We're putting people's businesses together. You got to understand the difference between fixed cost and variable cost and how that plays against the money that you bring in.
Yeah.
So one thing, if you have something that's subscription based, makes it a lot easier. And you should try to find something that you can get with that reoccurring revenue, because it just makes it easier for month to month you to handle things. If you've got $5,000 coming in and your expenses for the business are $4,500 and you know you got $5,000, at least you're not worried about if the expenses for the business are going to be paid, because you got reoccurring revenue. Now, of course, with that, you should be providing great service every month to these people. But as that grows, you have this revenue on the back end that you can rely on in order to grow the business. And I think that that part of it is the huge part of just putting this whole thing together, is understanding these things. The business model canvas, if you go to the UBB or if you get into some of the UBB calls, we talk about the business model canvas. But the thing is, you can look it up anywhere. But fixed cost, variable cost, understanding that. And it's going to talk about things like your key activities, your key partners that you need in order to do this. What are the things that you're going to use in order to make sure that you make money, right? These are your offers, how your offers are going to make money. And once they make money, what do you have to pay for? By just understanding this, now you're looking at your business a completely different way.
Yep.
Because instead of looking at, like, I would do an exercise of first uncoupling those tasks.
Got to.
And then once you have all those tasks written down, now go out to places like Fiverr and Upwork where you can get labor, or Indeed, see what those jobs cost, and then go back through your day and see what that day would cost if you were hiring somebody else to do it. Don't think of it just as passive work, because now you're getting an actual cost. So if you knew, oh, that day of work actually cost me $200, but I'm making $900 a day, then I could just now remove that $200. Because one thing I'll tell you is, although you may have to spend more money, you might make less money.
For 1
you'll
2
have
weeks.
more peace of mind, though.
Man, but how it's gonna work is, for a little bit, you will need to be working with the people to get them to do the process.
For sure.
So it's gonna be a
it's
little
gonna
dip.
go backwards.
It's gonna
yeah.
go back for a little second, but let me tell you what's gonna happen. Vroom.
Yeah.
It's just gonna catapult, because it's going to get to a point to where you don't have to think about that no more.
Yeah.
That particular, whatever it was that you did.
And that's gonna change everything.
And it's going to change everything about how you move, because now you don't got to think about that no more. All you got to think about is the bill, which is great. It's like, if that only costs $1,000 a month, perfect. Now all I got to get is, or if it costs $50 a month, it don't matter. If it's something small, it don't matter. All you got to do as the owner now is focus on the bill, which is great, because you probably at this point, if you willed and nilled up to $100,000, you are a good salesperson for your company. I know you are. Have to be.
Yeah.
So focus on that more. You know what I mean? Until you can get award-winning sales reps. That's currently where we are. We have sales reps. We're training. We're getting them you know what I mean, in the game. But at least we're like that's where, like, you know, we can focus on sales instead of doing one-on-one calls. We've changed our mind, and now we're doing webinars, like 3 slots of webinars eventually, you know, with the right sales team and everything. But when you out of doing the editing, or you doing the grill diming setting, or if I was the actual fulfillment team, you guys would never see me. You know what I mean? I would just be at the factory handling every repair, every single thing. That's what I'm dealing with now. Just overseeing the repair. Mia, a person that's handling, I'm putting her in charge of repairs, is out right now. So that's what I'm remembering. So I'm just the repair center is just imagine having to do the fulfillment for that. It would be a lot, and there's still a little bit of fulfillment at the higher level, like project management.
Layers.
There's layers to it. You know, at least get yourself out of the grunt work of everything, because you will sincerely be able to raise the revenue. You know, like what I tell a lot of people, our operation here at VVS is just different. You're coming to the main factory's office, so you come up here, you're meeting with the main head guy. When you want a repair, I send you to the repair center. When you want a specific repair, I send you to another repair center. You know, it just allows and helps us to move.
You know where I've seen this too? At the dentist, right? And you go to the dentist. If it's something else you need to do, like say it's a root canal or something, they're going to send you somewhere else. Yeah. They're going to send you to a specialist. If you wanted to do an implant or replacement, they're going to send you to another person, because they are specialized and they understand, instead of trying to do everything, they can actually get more. And they probably getting commissions off who they send you to. But the point is, it's easier to specialize in certain areas than it is to try to do everything. And I know in most people's minds, they think that if I do everything, I'll make more money. But it's a hard cap of how much money you can make. The whole thing is, what I've noticed, and this is stuff I've been noticing as I go further in business, it's better to specialize in like 2 or 3 high-level things that you're the absolute best in the company at. So let's say you're a great speaker, you get on camera, you influence people, and you're the best at that. The best thing you could be doing is spending more time doing that.
Right.
The best thing you could be doing is not sitting in the fulfillment center, sitting on the customer service calls. It's not the best thing you could be doing.
Right.
Because if you're going out there and say you're the person who can walk in, you're the only person who can really walk in and sell the $2-3 million clients, right?
Right.
You got people who can sell, the smaller clients, but you can sell the $2-3 million clients. Well, it'd be better for you just to hire some reps to do that, hire people to do the customer service, hire the fulfillment, and then you're closing these deals consistently, because all your time is spent focusing on that. I think that people get into this thing because they get into this if and hole, as we call it, right? I don't know what to do, because they have to take a leap. And 90% of what I talk to entrepreneurs about is some type of leap they need to make. So somebody could be working a job and they want to make a transition full-time into entrepreneurship. The difficulty in making that leap is not understanding that no matter what you do, there's going to be an adjustment period. You're literally learning a new way of doing business. Yeah. It's like learning a new language. I don't give a damn how smart you are. Go try to learn a new language. And I only know this because I always talk about I've been learning Japanese lately. Go try to learn a new language. It's going to humble you really quick when you see how hard it is just to understand the basics, right? If you're pretty smart, you'll start getting the basics down pretty quick. You'll be able to say sentences, but true comprehension is going to take time. Business is the same way. If you've been used to doing all the work yourself, learning to communicate with another person and prompt that person to get them to do the work, understanding that sometimes it's going to mess up and you got to then coach them in order to do the work correctly, that's going to take time to learn that language. But if you take time to learn that language, I promise you, the burnout is going to disappear, because now your time is either spent doing tasks that you enjoy more, or you're just not doing the back-busting labor. But it's beautiful because everybody's specialized, so they're not getting overworked either, because everybody gets to focus on their one area that they're good at.
Matesh and us, we didn't turn in the best landing page, but we got motion.
Yeah.
We got motion.
Motion beats perfection.
We got motion.
That was what we talked about in the Q2 meeting. Motion beats perfection.
We got motion, and I told them I'm grateful because this was our first landing page together. Mm-hmm. So of course, like what you expect, right? But eventually, what I know because of how long I've been partnering with different people and just getting to a point to where it's like you get to a point to where you eventually have everything outsourced. I'm not there yet. I'm on my way. Mm-hmm. But I've outsourced enough to where I know, like, yeah, that first couple, boom, 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 but it's gonna start kicking. It's gonna get to a point to where it'll be very light communication. That's how a GPT window is, or a AI agent that you pay for that has good memory. After you work with that motherfucker for a minute,
yeah, just knows.
That motherfucker know you, boy. You can go in there and be like, man, that motherfucker gonna finish your sentence after a while, because it's scary too. But I'm also using that as an example to understand how important it is to build from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can actually build and build a sustainable business thinking like that too as well. Like, when AI first came out, now we're a little bit more advanced because we have Claude installed into the company, which spreads AI out in each channel, which makes it the same as what we were kind of doing ahead of time. When the AI first came out, I would make windows for each department: an HR window, a marketing window, a sales window, a this window, and every task that I would work on, I would always keep that window open
for the memory.
Yeah. But what this taught me is when I brought people in, I started to make sure that GPT was on your window. This was before GPT was on the onboarding system, because I needed you to understand, like, I needed you to have the memory of what was going on, because that really was going to speed up everything. And just that alone is helping so much. So all I'm trying to say is keeping everything on track is going to really allow you to scale it faster. What I mean on track, like keeping all your content, all your
information about the company
in one area,
centralizing everything, right? Yeah. I think a knowledge base. So I think that's the biggest thing when even trying to pass off these tasks, why people get burnt off, is because it's very difficult when it's all in your head to pass things off. And I'm speaking as somebody who's always been a technician in business, right? Like, I learned how to program, and then I was building all the websites. And when I say building the websites, I want y'all to be clear. When I first started, I wouldn't even use WordPress. That's how hardcore I was trying to be. I was coding my own system to manage the sites, coding the sites from scratch, doing all the CSS, all the PHP backend, because I used to code in PHP, Java, if it was some JavaScript in there, doing all that, right? Then fast forward, I started understanding that I would do that, and then I'd have to go sell the site. So if I sold the site, I go in there and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna sell the site for $5,000. And at the time, people be like, okay, yeah, I'll buy the site for $5,000. Back in the day, you could sell the site for a lot.
Yeah.
And $5,000 not even a lot. But I'm saying you could do it because it was a lot harder to get it made. Mm-hmm. People wasn't as hip to WordPress and stuff like that.
There was no templates. There was no tools.
So the thing is, what I realized was that I would even want to charge more for the services because I was doing them. I had so much emotional attachment to it. It was like, man, I'm charging $5,000 for my services. Well, you got somebody who's probably knocking that stuff out because they do it every day. And that's another big part of it. Because I have to switch back between the tasks, I feel like I never get as good in any task as I could be.
No,
like, I'm not really that good of a programmer because I'm not in it every day.
There's no system. There's no process. Mm-hmm. A big part of what we were just talking about was the knowledge base. Like, we glancing over that main fundamental ingredient, like that's going to allow you to actually create. Because, like, where do you put after you make a scribe, right? Like, after you make, where are you talking to all of these people at? Yeah. Like, where does this stuff live? A big thing that really allowed us to scale at the rate that we're doing is just having a centralized spot. As we grew tools grew to as well. So we have a better centralized spot, which is inside of the app now. You know, not Cowboy, what Cowboy Express is for fulfillment, but the general community app is like where all of the live streams are happening, where a lot of the content is happening, where you can send an email blast out very simply by just writing on the bulletin board and typing all. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like all of the training for each department, each recorded meeting is inside. It lives somewhere. Each scribe lives. It like the link to the scribe lives. We have a community group, but we have a workplace community that we still use in Slack. Everybody understands it. All links they live in there. So this is very important to building something. If you don't, like, I'm giving a lot of game away, but like little tools like Asana that we'll use to save like all the passwords and stuff like that. Like little tools like, you know, little stuff like that.
I think one of the big epiphanies.
And I said that on purpose.
Yeah. I think one of the big epiphanies I had in the beginning when we got Airtable. Right?
Yeah.
But it was because everybody could work from the same knowledge.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of summarized that we talked about first the mindset part of it, then we talked about uncoupling all these tasks. And then now you uncoupled all these tasks. You just made a great point of you take all these things and you centralize the knowledge so everybody can access the same documentation. So if you bring in 20 people working in your business, all of them are looking at the same sheet, the same SOP, the same thing. There's so many places that you can use. You can use ClickUp, you can use Asana, you can use, I mean, it's so many. You just look one up.
Right. This is the pinnacle to me right now. Like what we have set up at the Centerverse and what we have set up at Cowboy VVS.
Well, we have proprietary
stuff. Eventually, we're going to offer this as a service. I would imagine, like to set this up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just that part.
Once it gets ready.
Yeah. Once it's there. But the pinnacle is like you have your channels inside of like your app. Like you have a HR group. You have a fulfillment group, you have a this group, you have a that group, and you install AI into it, and now you have a all-day employee that is ready for even you. So, like I'm able to talk to my team in team meetings and consistently remind people, you have an assistant at your disposal all day. Do not hesitate. And I am, as the manager, making deadlines shorter because of what is available to us. Like we can get things done one day faster now. Everything, it don't matter what it is. You know, like you can do it a day faster.
Well, you can get people up to speed a lot quicker.
Yeah.
If you can go to a chat bot, if I could pop into a Slack channel or I can pop into a channel in a community group and say, hey,
Vinny,
bot,
this is
what's going on with this? I don't know what this is. It's like, oh, okay, right now the company's doing this. You need to go here to locate this. Here's the link.
Better yet, you can also even get Vinny to assist with onboarding with your new people that's coming on, your AI agent with onboarding. So soon as the new person comes in, like, hey, Vinny, this is Shaheem. He's going to help you with editing. He's your new boss. Walk him through all of the stuff, like onboarding him through what he needs to know, and then give him everything that, you know, just give him all of the links to the stuff that we've been doing. Just whatever. We can make that together, and then he would just know to do that.
And I think that right there is kind of what we've been dancing around, which I would say is the next thing is systems.
Yeah.
SOP, systems, step-by-step in the processes. He just talked about onboarding. You need to know how you do that step by step. So when somebody comes in, what apps are you going to give them that centralize your information so if they need to find something, they can easily find it. If you change it in one place, I mean, you can even use Google Docs for this, right? Because they're cloud-based documents. You change it one time, everybody gets the same change simultaneously.
Right.
What apps, your tech stack that you're going to give them? It can be rudimentary at first. We just used to use Google Docs to do all our SOPs and stuff, so you go there.
Yeah.
We evolved a little bit past that. But just get started. Motion beats perfection. I'm going to say that 1,000 times. We talked about in our own Q2 meeting. Just get in motion to start documenting it.
Yep.
What are your steps in every aspect of your business? Start making a step-by-step. And then you start working from those SOPs because you'll start to see the problems. And when you give them to another person, they're going to run into problems, which you don't get mad and throw out the SOP. You improve the SOP.
That's it.
Because now you're able to bring those things in. I think that's kind of like the solid foundation because I think and I'll say this to shift gears a little bit, because we've been talking about this lately. I think the problem with most entrepreneurs is that they're not doing the meaningful work in their business. If you start making money as an entrepreneur, you can get into this flow where things are going okay, you're making enough money to cover the expenses, but you'll stop doing the meaningful work. And what does meaningful work look like? That doesn't look the same yesterday as it does today.
Yep.
At one point, me sitting there doing a website for the business was the most meaningful work I could do.
Yep.
That was the most meaningful work I could do. Later down the road, me sitting there doing somebody's website all day is not very meaningful for the business. In fact, it's probably taking the business backward.
Absolutely.
And I think that these things we're talking about is, yes, you're going to get into this. You're going to say, I want to get out of this. I want to get out of burnout. But then you're going to have to spend some time in your days doing meaningful work. And meaningful work now may be setting up an SOP over taking as many sales calls for a short period of time.
Yeah.
Because, of course, the cash flow and making money is important to keep the business alive. But I'm saying you have to make time, or you're going to have to find that time somewhere else.
I'll give you a cheat code to the meaningful work. A lot of it is right in here. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is like right in here. Like you about to go and do the next email blast. You know you need to think about this differently, but you just about to go do it. So the main thing is to stop and think for 45 minutes. Give yourself an hour. Just think about what you're about to do. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm already thinking to myself immediately what I'm about to do is I'm immediately just about to scribe this so I don't even want to take 45 minutes to think about this shit. Yeah. I'm just about to scribe it at bare minimum.
That's that capturing it.
Yeah, that's like I'm a scribe it at bare minimum, and then like from there, you might start scribing it and realize, damn, I don't even know. So now you know right here. All right, let me cut the scribe off. I need to stand on some business right here. What am I gonna actually do?
You are now figuring out the process.
Yes,
and you're solidifying that process now, which is important.
Yes, and that's what's gonna. That is a meaningful way to attack a task. You know what I'm saying? Without just.
Well, you said it in the beginning about the mental part of it. The other day I was on a sales call and he said something to me on the sales call. He's like, what does the first 60 days look like? And I just went home that day, captured the task immediately, and added that to the pitch deck because I'm thinking about what happens when another sales rep goes out there. Mm-hmm. That was a solid thing to tell him. What I told him was a solid thing that helped close the sale. So why would I just be like, I got it in my mind, I'm just going to keep that in my back pocket and start saying to people.
I ain't going to show them that.
It makes no sense. Yeah. I'm going to go put it in the pitch deck right there, exactly what I said to him. And now that SOP exists. And it's standardizing our process in a way that you can't miss it because you're going through the slides. It's just going to pop up right there and be like, oh, yeah, and your first 60 days with us looks like this, which helps the client visualize what does it look like after I sign up, which a lot of people are concerned about. Right. But this is meaningful work. Tomorrow, me going in there and saying, well, the colors aren't quite right is not that meaningful anymore. Yeah. It becomes a procrastination tool.
Now we back. It's very important to be aware of what we're doing every day as the people in the business. Now we back doing graphic design work. You know what I'm saying? And these are very simple things that you gotta be very aware of. And nothing's wrong with doing these tasks. They are, if you are the owner, you need to be owning, and you need to be, you know what I mean? Like you need to be doing the owner thing.
You need to be
like,
owning.
You need to be owning.
No, that's the facts though. The facts though.
Like you don't need to be doing, and it's a very simple equation to me. I keep always doing this. In the middle of the business, like in the middle of it, think of it like a container. It's like a container. In the middle of the container, this is the bottom, like underneath there, and here go the top shit. Mm-hmm. In the middle of the container is like the work that is repetitive and it needs to be done. Mm-hmm. It needs to be done. And fortunately, you can change all of this work by just getting a better tool. There's always going to be some stuff out there that's going to be cool to get this shit done.
That's always shifting.
It's always shifting. As a matter of fact, you can even create a product to like service people that are doing shit in the middle of this shit. Like you can do that, right? Like that's something that you can do. But the 20% of work, like the 10% up here of thinking, like that hour that it took to actually think about like what I'm gonna do, and then the hour that it takes to actually like sit back and be like, boy, that shit didn't even work. Well, okay, that shit
That's what
didn't
people
work.
don't want to do though.
They don't want to do that. It's like I would rather just do the work, and then like if it don't work, I can complain.
Yeah, I think that goes to another great point, which is you put this system together. That's why you get to sit at the top of the business.
Yeah.
It's not nothing crazy. Everybody trying to make it like people at the top of the business are always like these evil characters, but it's you want to sit down and think about it. You want to take over the stress of being burnt out because you're doing too much work, probably not hanging with your family, friends, relationships, going to shit. You want to deal with that.
Yeah.
So that's why you sit at the top of the business. Now, there is a life where you can get this shit under control and start moving to something that's more sustainable. And part of that comes from understanding like this mindset that we're talking about right here. By sitting down and really being the person who says, I need thinking time. We have quarterly meetings because the quarterly meetings are times where we're not doing any tasks.
Yeah.
We're just sitting and looking at what we did and saying, what do you think we should do now?
There's a time of the day that we specifically detach from, like, you might still be, you might like know you might be so good at a task you just doing that whole just because you're in the background or whatever. But like we have a specific time of the day where we're just talking about where you have to hover over your business and like get at that whole what's going on, like, all right, like do you like, because if you cannot zoom out of your business, if you can't if you can't like look at that motherfucker, like if you can't look at it, if you can't like look at the business and say, oh damn, I done spent 18 hours doing HR shit today. I done spent 18,
I've seen it.
Yeah.
You're just gonna be in a perpetual loop because it's that thinking that actually allows you to come up with the insights that are gonna make you be able to say, okay, I've been doing this task. Let me go look on Upwork or Fiverr and see, oh, I can get somebody to do this for $20.
Yeah.
So
And
now the $20 you spend may be saving you 20 to 30 hours a week.
And we talking about sacrificing one meal. So you can do like, you can buy the food, cook it, and then not do breakfast one morning just to get the editor for a week. Or this is what I'm talking about, little stuff like.
But it gets you in that upward spiral, and I think that's the whole key. What you're talking about, of building the momentum.
Yes, because what you'll realize is you'll always have the bill for the guy. Mm-hmm. Even if you thin line and everything, you're gonna always have what you need, and it's always going to yield more. Especially if it's something, because the key thing is it's something that you be doing every day. You only do this every day because obviously it definitely works. Like that's why people put so much emphasis in content. Content is so important because it's a free way based off your effort that you can always pop up in somebody's mind.
You get visibility.
Just just based on what you're willing to do, you can just get in front of people. If you're willing to just create a system to do it. Like if you're willing to do it, if you're willing to, like, I don't know nothing about the camera. Okay, sit your motherfucking ass down and learn about the camera. Okay, damn, you can do it with your phone. Okay, damn, okay, I know that now. Get a little standard iPhone thing, and I can just film this shit and upload it to another little place that uploads it everywhere. Okay, damn, I got a podcast. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, you'll probably learn how to edit, and you probably get. It's like once you get into motion, you'll get.
I think the simple thing, and I was talking about this at the beginning of, I think this was like 2 years ago at the annual meeting. And I was talking about PPA, plan, perform, adjust, right? And plan, perform, and PPP, that's them loans. Plan, perform, adjust, right? And I think that's what most people don't understand is, right, plan, most people don't do that part, which is they think about the work they're gonna do. Then you perform the work, and then you look at that work and you adjust, and then you just repeat it again, right? From the adjustment, you plan again, and then you perform and you adjust. And this simple flow is how you get better at anything. Like you said, content, you do the content, you plan the content, perform, adjust.
It's very hard to be a individual. You got to work personally, develop yourself to do all three, because most people are all performance. They don't want to do no planning. Some people will plan their heart out and never perform.
I think it's just because people are so scared to make a mistake, because when your thinking makes the mistake, you feel like everybody gonna laugh at you. Everybody gonna say something to you.
And the crazy part is they will, and whatever. It just doesn't matter, and you probably won't even hear it, you know, or see it. You know what I mean? And that was assuming that a motherfucker care about y'all.
Man, you know, bro.
Like, that's the only reason why they actually laughing and all of that.
Man, I just thought about this, man. And I ain't gonna say nobody's name and stuff, but this really hit me, bro. I'm not even joking. Real life on podcast.
Somebody in this hoe?
Trying to climb that shit. But real life.
There's a concert downstairs right now.
Real life, this shit hit me, man. And this shit really, like somebody I knew passed away, right? Mm-hmm. And then I just thought about like, because I knew the person and, you know, they was very adamant about, oh man, people saying this stuff about me and really concerned about people's thoughts and opinions about them, right? They passed away, people barely even like post on Instagram or anything like that. And it's like, your life will be over. And you spent all this time concerned about what people was going to say about you. And then you gone. Yeah. So I feel like those thoughts, I prefer to just put my thoughts out there. And if people don't like them, I understand that 90% of them people don't give a shit anyway.
No, they don't.
If I was going tomorrow, at best I would get, man, we lost a real one. But what I'm saying is the impact that you can create, not only for people whose lives will be better from what you create, but the people around you, that's what's most important. And your thinking can do that. It's okay to make a mistake. Making a mistake is really part of entrepreneurship. People who are not in it don't get that. Right. They go to a job, they mess up doing their task, and they get reprimanded, so they think that's how the world works.
Yeah, no.
But really, even the best organizations don't do that.
Yeah, no, you get rewarded. And that's another thing, too. Like, Matesh he's getting a pat on the back for fucking up the landing page because what we get an opportunity to do is fix the system. Yeah. So anytime somebody messes up anything, and I didn't necessarily give him a step-by-step, you fix the system. That's
well, I mean, sometimes you're collaborating, right? You're working with him to develop what that looks like.
Exactly, because that's exactly what's going on. You're creating a brand new thing that you're doing. So, so you're working on the system. You know what I mean? Like, this is how we do this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is the way that we do this now. Yeah. You didn't have it, so you working on it as you go.
I've been thinking lately about, remember I was telling you about the 4,000 hours. Mm-hmm. Now I want to tell Vanessa that too. I've been thinking about the 4,000 hours, and my whole theory is, I know you got like 10,000 hours of work. That's like to build a skill, but I was talking to everybody about this, and I say 4,000 hours. And when I say, I think it's important that you give yourself 4,000 hours over the next couple of months. And what do I mean by 4,000 hours? Not client fulfillment work, not stuff you do for other people, stuff that you do actively for your business, for the improvement in the meaningful work in your business. And
so
I feel like
your business 4,000.
That's what I'm saying. Not, if I'm doing fulfillment work, that don't count for my business. That's fulfillment work. I'm saying give yourself 4,000 hours. Time it. I time it. I literally time it right now. Giving 4,000 hours to business. My thought process on that is if you gave your business 4,000 hours, not, I was kind of on Instagram. I'm saying 4,000 hours thinking about the improvement of your business. How can 4,000 hours?
This is an hour.
I feel like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like there's no way you wouldn't be able to succeed and get out of your problems.
Absolutely.
Most times people don't understand that most problems, they fall completely apart once enough thought is applied to them.
Oh, nothing can withstand nothing. If you resist, if you consistent on it, it's just gonna crack.
The mind's just too powerful.
Yeah, you'll working with AI. I keep bringing the damn AI up. Yeah. You can get AI to do exactly what you want if you keep pressing that motherfucker. If you willing to not get off the shit and be like, man, this shit don't work.
I remember first doing business, my mind used to hurt because I didn't realize how much thinking you have to do, how much coming up with strategies. Things don't work. You have to try again. This didn't work. You have to try again. You spent money on this. It didn't work. You have to try again. And it was the thinking part that was really the exhausting part. Yeah. I never knew that thinking would really exhaust you like you was out running all day.
Yes.
But eventually, just like anything else, what happens to entrepreneurs, you build that thinking muscle and you become a person who is able to think. You're able to sit back and think all day.
And that shit is, I understand, that shit is definitely, how can I put this? Yeah, it's almost like being around the swole motherfucker. It's like that shit is like if you're not trying to work out, it's gonna get annoying.
Yeah, I see this with people
annoying.
like you said. Just imagine somebody who runs like 20-mile marathons. They like, bro, run with me.
Yeah, it's not.
It's like you're gonna be like, you're gonna start running. I ain't trying to do all that. Yeah,
that,
because
nigga, damn.
they running a 20-mile marathon. So
His
people
warm
around
up
me,
is 5
people be
miles.
like, man, you be coming up with this stuff off the top of your head. It's like, it's not magic.
Nah,
If you've been working in entrepreneurship and seeing all these scenarios, your mind gets this information and it's able to do it. I've learned this even from learning a language. If you listen to the language long enough, you'll start remembering sentences, even in the language you'll understand. You'll start understanding how they're used. It's how you learned English. You didn't learn English in a classroom.
Right.
You learned it from immersion. You know what things mean. If I say, yeah, man, come on, man.
Right.
You don't know that from a classroom.
Right. Come on, man.
If you understand that, that's because you probably grew up somewhere where you understand people who talk like that.
Yeah.
Just a dialect. So I think the same thing when it comes to thinking. You got to get in the game, build up the muscle of thinking. And more importantly, thinking different. It's just like doing a workout and you got used to the workout. If you go and you run 1 mile, eventually you're going to get used to the 1 mile.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to run 2 miles.
Yeah.
And running 2 miles in business means at first you got to this point in business, like I talked about earlier with the paradigms. You got to this point in business, which is like running the 1 mile.
Yeah, you did the grill.
Now you got to start running the 5 miles. And it's going to hurt again for a little bit as you make the transition. But if you make the transition, you're going to find yourself what? Healthier, stronger, better.
And then there'll be an opportunity to run another marathon that's like a 20-mile marathon. It's like, get on that.
And this is your life.
Yeah, it's what it is.
This is your life. You chose entrepreneurship, and I think that's the big lesson.
And it's a never-ending thing. Even when you die, what you created has an opportunity to keep going.
running.
And you signed up for that. You know what I mean?
Your
ass signed up for that. And shit, I understand what I signed the moment I did, and I understand that this is an ongoing. It's never done.
Yeah. I love the game. I love being in the game, and I'm just grateful that we get to get up and even do this.
I am too. It's never done, but that don't mean you guys to keep playing it.
Yeah.
Never.
It don't mean you have to keep doing that back bust.
You do not have to keep playing it. You do not have to be a slave for the thing that you created. You can. That's like the first 5 miles in business is like the marathons is like, yeah, you did the work, and you at the 5th mile because shit, you realizing like, damn, nigga be running.
Yeah,
be running the fuck out this business every day, boy. Like I'm running. These are miles. That's why you can think for 18 hours all day because you just left HR and just decompressed and got right back into some tech shit, nigga.
Yeah.
Decompressed and got right back into some sales shit, nigga. Like
your mind is agile.
Anybody that ain't thinking like that is not fucking with that at all because that takes a lot. But you do not have to be addicted to that. That is not winning necessarily. That is just what you're used to. That's like being used to running 5 miles. You're used to it. But here goes some player niggas finna tell you, bro, you want to run like 20 without running? Run? All you gotta do is run the first. Like here's the cool part about business. People can actually work out for you. This is
I would say, what is your real objective, right?
Can't nobody take a piss for me.
If I go to run, right?
Yeah.
Is my objective to be the best runner, right?
Yeah.
There's a difference if your objective is to cover the most ground as fast as possible, right? So if you was running, you like, man, I never knew what a car was, and it's like, man, you got cars. You can get that same distance, and you don't have to be uncomfortable, right?
Right.
I think business is more close to that. If you're just trying for whatever your own gratification, trying to become the hardest worker on earth, like you could just do 72 hours without stopping over and over, fine. Right? Yeah. Well, maybe you're trying to set the Guinness Book of World Records for being the best worker. Yeah. But I think most people are not trying to do that. They're trying to build a life. They're trying to make a certain lifestyle. And we're talking about how do we get there. So do you run there or do you get in a car?
Right.
Like what's the fastest way to get across to the other side of town? Is it to run there or is it to get in a car? Right. And getting in a car is building a team. Right. That's putting people together. And or you could be like, nah, I'm really just trying to be really a marathon runner, which is fine too. Yeah. Just realize what you're doing.
Because when you get in the car, eventually somebody is going to tell you, bro, you know you're really not moving.
Yeah.
So I'm going to introduce you to this shit that I got. It's like a plane.
Oh, shit, what?
Whoa. And then a nigga, after you get in the plane, you make that transition, you in the plane. And then motherfucker gonna walk up to you again and say, I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Tell you the truth.
You're doing good.
Yeah, you.
But you really ain't moving. What you mean? He's gonna introduce you to a G7 power fighter jet. And then,
If we want to really go abstract, he gonna say, I like what you're doing.
an alien gonna
Yeah,
drop
that's what I'm
down.
saying. He gonna say, I like what you're doing. I like what you're doing down
Yeah,
here.
look at it.
But can I be real? You ain't really moving.
You really ain't moving.
You really ain't moving
Nigga
like
been
that.
on- yeah, and then the nigga gonna show you UFO, a whole unidentified object,
It's
nigga.
gonna
that
jet in the car,
slip-
like, God, it's
That
slipping
okay.
through time and space. Like,
this
God
is- yeah, that
damn, this
motherfucker
whole
did this.
moving.
Yes, and it's always gonna be some more
And
shit.
the whole point is there's always another paradigm. And the whole point is, what is your objective? Is your objective to be the mightiest worker to ever live? Or is your objective to build something, maybe a legacy for your family? Whatever it is. I think that's the real objective for most entrepreneurs. They're trying to build something. They're trying to build a certain life. And that's ultimately what we're talking about. So I know the big things to kind of recap this. We talked about the mindset first. You got to get the right mindset. Get out of this idea that nobody can do the work better than you or feel like you need to be needed. We talked about uncoupling. Uncouple from those systems and figure out these are the things that I do. This is what I'm going to do on a daily basis.
Right.
DJ was talking about after that, you got to build those systems. You got to build those processes. You got to start mapping out step by step, SOPs, use tools like Scribe, get task trackers, get all that stuff in place.
Slack,
And then-
Airtable,
And then
centralized.
Finally, understand that you got to give yourself the hours, the time to think about the business and think about it in a different way, because I feel like that's the most powerful part that a lot of people are missing. They're performing, but they're not thinking about the business. So they get bogged down in the task forever, and they repeat that shit over and over to the end of time, and they never get to the potential that they could have gotten to.
What was the three things you said? Plan,
Perform, adjust.
adjust.
Yeah. You got any final thoughts before we get out of D?
Plan, perform, adjust. I think that's what you should focus on. I think you should just like try to keep it simple. Plan, like, what am I gonna do today? Like, what is my main things that I'm gonna do today? And then like perform those things. If you just performed them today, tomorrow adjust by analyzing. Like, I could do this better, or download and Scribe. Like what we said, just try to create an SOP. And then it's like, damn, I got this SOP. Now go look for somebody to do it. Just look. And then just look. And then maybe create a message to reach out to all those people. Just have this stuff going. You know what I'm saying? So that way you on the way to getting out of doing all that work. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody want to really do all of it. Uh-oh.
We gonna stay in there. That ain't nothing. My final thought is give yourself them 4,000 hours. I think that's important. And to piggyback on what you're saying, I think that if you give yourself those hours, that's going to ultimately help you get out of this. I think that most people can't get out of it because they won't give themselves the meaningful work. They won't do the meaningful work that moves them out of being the worker in their business. They won't sit down and say, man, I could just make the money a lot quicker if I just did it. But they won't do the meaningful work of sitting back, making their head hurt to think about how to turn that into a SOP. So give yourself that meaningful work. And I challenge you to do what we're doing right now and give yourself that 4,000 hours. Give yourself that 4,000 hours of improving your business. Not working on somebody else's stuff, not gossiping with somebody, not talking to somebody about what's going on in the news or the media right now. Give yourself them 4,000 hours. And I promise, that's going to change the way you operate in business and in life.
Yeah.
Tell them where to find you, D.
Country Cowboy, all platforms. Finna get heavy on just streaming outside daily activities, just more. Hey, we outside. I want to go play some golf. I want to go play some baseball. I want to go play
fling golf.
Fling golf. Whoa. Where is fling golf?
I don't know. We got to look that up again.
Or it's probably somewhere live. I would go play some fling golf.
Yeah, fling golf was fun.
Fling golf was fun. I want to go do all these type of things. I'm going to be streaming it too as well, popping up more on the feed. while we scale everything. If you're looking for some custom jewelry, we got the webinars going at 8 p.m. every night right now. And we're building the landing pages and everything. So eventually they'll be underneath these episodes where you can just go sign up. If you're a jeweler and you are looking to actually get in the App Store within the next 3 weeks, we got a product called the Diamond Direct, which comes with a CRM. It comes with the vendor that we use for our custom product. If you want to, you can also move your package around and do all of that type of stuff. But we got all of that ready for you. So Diamond Direct is available by the time you see this, and eventually it'll be underneath these episodes on all of the places where you see our podcast.
Prinston Hicks on everything, Prinston Hicks. You know, I'm here to help you reach your full potential. We got the UBB stuff. You can also always go to any of my posts and comment fast lane. We're going to send you a free guide and stuff like that. And then you can even hop on a call with me directly, or it's going to be someone from my team in the future, and we'll walk you through a lot of these processes that we talk about. And if your business is looking to go through our monopoly system, our whole goal is to help people build digital monopolies. We're going to get you the software you need. We're going to get you the website you need. We're going to get you the customers you need, and we'll even build your proprietary app at the end of all that so you can be successful. Right now, we're launching our 24-hour Empire webinar, which is going to show you how to streamline, automate your business, and launch it in one day. I didn't say you're going to be successful in one day. I said you can launch it very quickly because we already got these tools and stuff laid out to you. If you want to know more about this, like DJ said, it's going to eventually be under this. You'll just have to comment below or go sign up for the webinar. We're going to be running those back to back so you can get in there. Besides that, thank y'all for watching again, and we'll see y'all next week.
I came up from nothing. Started from the bottom. I see it with a clear eye.
So I hustle.
Mama's house to Penthouse. Yeah.